and radiating pain of the kidney to the groin. So first we will start with the kidney. The renal capsule surrounds each kidney. It is thin fibroelastic structure that encases the parenchyma of the kidney. There is a depression called hilum on the medial surface of each kidney. The hilum opens into renal sinus. It is a central space surrounded by the renal parenchyma. So the hilum contains urinary collecting structures, renal vessels which exit the kidney via the hilum, and varying amounts of fat. Coming to position of kidneys, kidneys are mobile and their position changes during respiration. Right kidney generally lies lower than the left due to the mass of the liver. The position of right and left kidneys. The upper pole of left kidney lies at the level of 12th thoracic vertebra and its lower pole at 3rd lumbar vertebra. Upper pole of right kidney lies at the level of 1st lumbar vertebra and its lower pole at the bottom of the 3rd lumbar vertebra. Then coming to posterior relation of the kidneys. Posteriorly, it is related to diaphragm and the pleural reflection and covers the upper pole of each kidney. The upper border of left kidney extends up to upper border of 11th rib. So, any direct approach to the upper pole of either kidney risks entering the pleural space. Medial portion of lower 2/3 of both kidneys with their associated renal vessels and pelvis lie against the psoas muscle. Quadratus lumborum and eponymous of transverse abdominis sit behind both the kidneys. So, the posterior relations in the lower part include from medial to lateral side psoas muscle, quadratus lumborum and transverse abdominis. Axis of each kidney is such that the lower pole lies farther from the midline and is more anterior than its upper pole, causing renal vessels and pelvis to exit the hilum in a relatively anterior direction. Coming to right kidney relations, anteriorly the right kidney lies behind the liver. Duodenum is directly medial relation of right kidney and the hilum is a direct medial relation of right kidney and hilum. Then hepatic flexion of the colon crosses the lower pole. Left kidney relations. The tail of pancreas and splenic vessels are anterior to the upper and middle portions and hilum of left kidney. Superiorly, the left kidney is covered by peritoneum of the lesser sac and the posterior gastric wall. Medially, it is covered by peritoneum of greater sac and duodenum and the jejunum. The lower pole is crossed by the splenic flexure of the colon. Renal fascia, also called as Garatos fascia. Both kidneys and associated suprarenal glands are surrounded by perirenal fat and are loosely enclosed by renal fascia, that is Garatos fascia. Garatos fascia is an important anatomic and pathogenic barrier. Anterior and posterior leaves of Garatos fascia extend anterior and posterior to the kidney to fuse laterally, medially and superiorly, immediately above the organ. Inferiorly, they do not fuse and there remains an open potential space containing the ureter and gonadal vessels. And it thins and is continuous with the retroperitoneal fascia. Vasculature. The vascular pedicle is composed of the posteriorly sighted renal artery and the more anteriorly sighted renal vein enter the kidney via the renal hilum Renal pelvis and ureter lie posterior to both in the hilum. Renal arteries leave the aorta at the level of second lumbar vertebra. Right renal artery is longer than the left, travels behind inferior vena cava to the right kidney. The shorter left artery passes horizontally to the left kidney. Renal arteries provide small superior branches to the suprarenal glands and small inferior branches to renal pelvis and upper ureter. The main renal artery divides into 5 segmental arteries, out of which one is posterior and 4 are anterior. So the anterior are apical, upper, middle and lower. The posterior branch exits the hilum and supplies the larger posterior segment, while the remaining anterior branches are given off in the hilum. All 5 are end arteries without anastomosis or collaterals. These segmental arteries pass through the renal sinus and branch into lobar and then interlobar branches. Venous drainage. Venous drainage mirrors the arteries. Renal vein is shorter, right renal vein is shorter and drains into inferior vena cava. The longer left renal vein receives right gonadal and suprarenal veins, and it passes anterior to aorta to drain into inferior vena cava. Lymphatic drainage. The principal lymphatic drainage of the left kidney is to the left para-aortic lymph nodes and right to the right inter-aortocaval and paracaval lymph nodes. Coming to radiating pain of the kidney to the groin. Flank pain originating from the urinary system is caused by distension of the ureter or renal pelvis or distension of the renal capsule. The severity of the pain is directly related to the rapidity of the distension and not to the degree of distension. Therefore, a patient with acute distension of the ureter will have extreme severe pain. This patient usually has mild dilatation of the ureter and no irreversible renal damage. However, a patient with greatly dilated ureter and irreversible renal damage might have no pain or mild pain because the ureteral dilatation has developed over a long period of time. Distension of the renal capsule causes milder flank pain. Kidney and ureteral pain is through visceral afferent fibers that accompany the sympathic fibers of the lower thoracic and upper lumbar segments. Flank pain is a presenting symptom of many significant diseases of the urinary system.